So today we're going to look at this PowerMac G4 finally. And I apologize for the shaky cam. It's kind of hard to get a good angle the way it's situated right now, especially since it's such a large box. So I'm kind of holding it in my hand. But this is going to be a interesting project because I don't even know if it works. It's supposed to. There's no hard drive, so I can't tell if it actually fully boots up. But at least if I can get to the open firmware screen, hey, that's probably good. So what we'll do in part one here is we'll take it out, take a look at everything, give it a quick cleaning and a quick power on self-test just to make sure it does in fact work. And if it doesn't, and this video doesn't run too long as it is, we'll try to repair those issues. Otherwise, we'll save them for part two, which will entail a more thorough cleaning, a installation of a CF to ID adapter, or maybe an SD to IDE. I'm not sure which yet. Get an operating system loaded on here, and that's it. So we'll go ahead and do this unboxing. So unfortunately, I'm using a different camera mount because it'll let me have the camera over the edge of the desk here, give as good of a angle at this box as possible. I have some other mounts that I'm either ordering or already have ordered and going to install to make stuff like this a little bit easier. But even then, with a box this size, it might not be. So we're going to go ahead and open it up and see. I did find out underneath the eBay shipping label is that this was used by an audio production company in California. So it's probably seen some use out of it. Let's see. If I remember the unboxing, the initial unboxing at the pickups video this was featured in, came with a lot of stuff except for the actual software. I mean, you see here we've got the setting up your PowerMac G4 guide here, and no, there are no discs inside, although there are some handwritten notes in here and stuff like that. I'll have to go through and take a look because it might be interesting. And then there's this professional audio CD mastering software for Macintosh, which again didn't come with it, so I'm probably going to have to look on like archive.org or Macintosh Garden or something like that for that as well. And then I believe an aftermarket CD recorder was installed, or maybe this is just a software, not quite sure. I've never even heard of this software before, although that's not surprising considering how much CD authoring software actually exists. So we also have the mouse. Pro mouse is the black model, I guess, although it's not really completely black. I don't know if you can see. And then, of course, the Pro keyboard, which is going to need a cleaning because it definitely has seen some better days. Not too scuffed up or scratched up. It does have this nice little aluminum plate that I'm guessing offers not just shielding, but weight so that it doesn't just slide around. And of course, here it is. Let me take it out of the box. Get a good look at it from here, and I'll set it up on the desk and get a normal camera mount that's not going to fall over. Okay, hopefully that this will be a little bit more stable. As you can see, this is the standard keyboard that came with most iMacs and consumer grade Macs at the time. It's actually not that much lighter than the Pro keyboard. Obviously, slightly different configuration. Keys caps are basically the same. Key configurations are a little different though. This doesn't have the little protruding USB ports on the side. Instead, it has them in the back. So, but, I mean, keyboards are keyboards, right? Except when they're not. So yeah, here's the Mac itself. There is just a CD-ROM and DVD-ROM drive in here. I thought that was a burner, but maybe they took it out. Maybe it was an external burner. Yeah, that's fine, whatever. I think I've got one or two IDE burners somewhere if I wanted to put one in here. I have to look up the original spec sheet. Got it saved somewhere. I can find out exactly what this came with initially. But let's go ahead and open up the side panel, see what it looks like inside, and see what kind of damage there may or may not be. So I've only opened this up once before during the pickups video, and I remember the latch is a little finicky. But it is a pretty good design otherwise. But looking inside here, it's not terribly... Here, let me do this. Oh, that helped a lot. It's not terribly dirty. It's mostly just surface dust. I don't see any dust bunnies anywhere. The PRAM battery was removed, so that's good. I do have replacements for that. The IDE cables were left in place. So that's good, as well as everything else. Now, it looks like it's a standard ATX power supply connector, but it's not. Even looks like a standard ATX power supply, but again, it's not. I believe that the pinouts are a little bit different, but you can either get or make an adapter in case you had to replace the power supply. It's got RAM in here. I forget how much is in there. I'll have to go back to the pickups video because I believe I looked it up then, put it on screen. Has a AGP video card with an Apple Display connector as well as a VGA connector, so that's good. And modem, it's got an optional air card slot, which was not installed, or if it was, it's not here anymore. Yeah, not terrible. So let's do an initial power on test and see if it works. All right, here goes nothing. Quite literally nothing. Well, I'll be right back. All right, so I tried reinserting the power cable inside on the board, and I installed the PRAM battery just in case. I know some Macs would not start up without the battery installed. Apparently this one doesn't care. So it looks like we may have a power supply issue after all, or a mainboard issue, or maybe even just the front panel connector needs to be reattached. Let me check again. All right, so all the cable connections are as secured as they can be. I'm going to test the power supply out. We'll just check some of the basic voltages first. Not getting anything. So this power supply might be dead. But again, I'm not familiar enough with Mac power supplies to know if it's going to send power out or not, or if it's like a PC power supply where it has to be triggered first. So this is more like the PC power supply where you have to jump a power on pin to a ground pin, green in this case, and that's, I believe, the same thing in the ATX specification. Tried jumping that, didn't seem to help. So I'm pretty sure the power supply is DOA. I'm going to take it apart just to look and see if the capacitors need to be replaced or something like that. Alternatively, I did find a guide to basically convert an ATX pinout to a Mac pinout, and I may have to try it. So let's get this power supply opened up. Okay, so I don't know about you, but that was a huge pain in the butt to remove. But there it is. Now we just have to take it apart. No hidden screw there. Looks like from here on out, it's just probably standard Phillips, hopefully. Well, initial thoughts are that it looks relatively clean. There's some dust, obviously, but I don't see any blown caps, really. Nothing's bulging at the very least. But there's a lot of goop inside, so it's hard to tell. And it doesn't even mean that the capacitor went bad. It could have been any number one of these components. Bummer, was hoping for something more obvious. Although, to be honest, recapping this thing looks like it would be a huge pain, just because of all the goop that would have to be removed first. But I'm not seeing any electrolytic leakage or anything, so who knows what's actually wrong with this. I don't have enough knowledge to be able to fully test. I don't have an oscilloscope. I've just got a multimeter, which might be enough, but again, I don't even know where to start. I guess proper way to do it would be to remove every cap and test it. And then if that doesn't result in anything, then look at the resistors. And I'm trying to find a fuse on here, and I don't know if there is one. There's this guy down here. I'm not sure what it is. It could be a filter capacitor. It could be the fuse. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get anything to tone on it. Not getting anything there. Ground is obviously working. You would think that there would be a fuse in here. So I'm not sure if it's normal. I'm trying to see if there's any short to ground anywhere. And obviously all the ground points are fine, but it beeps for a second when I touch the yellow, which I think is 12 volt on these power supplies. It also does so on the orange, which I think is either 3.3 or 5. I'll have to check, but it's intermittent. Like, it's not consistent. And I'm getting some resistance. That may be normal. I'm not sure. But I think it's kind of odd to me. So I believe I finally found the fuse. At least I think it is. It's this little heat shrink wrapped cylinder which has a metallic top and I'm assuming a bottom. And there's definitely continuity, so it's probably not the fuse. Some other component on here. So, still not sure where the fault lies though. That's the problem. Keep digging around. So you notice that the power supply isn't here. I actually found a guide that says, and I was kind of onto something earlier when I said that I need to install the PRAM battery. Apparently, when you reinstall it, you have to reset the power management unit, which is a little button next to the battery. So I tried that, but unfortunately, no luck. It still does not come on. So there's definitely something up with this power supply. I'm going to see if I can try to find some repair guides on it, see if it's an easy fix, although just looking at the way it's assembled, lots of engineering went into it. Don't get me wrong. It's probably a very reliable power supply when it works, and is probably designed to fail multiple different ways to prevent any sort of damage to the computer or its operator. But it looks like it's a huge pain to take apart. So I'll try to see if I can find some guides. But I'm also going to look at maybe making that ATX to Mac adapter. It's, you can get little extension cables for ATX power supplies in case the connector is too short to reach the motherboard. You just have to rearrange some of the pins on there, and you can adapt it to the Mac. So I'm going to give that a shot and see what happens. Of course, I will lose the 25 volts, so I probably will never be able to use an Apple display connector based display. But since I don't have one of those anyway, no big deal. But I'm going to call it wraps for this video. We're going to call it part 1, as I mentioned earlier. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you have any suggestions on the power supply, please leave a comment below and let me know. If you didn't like the video, hit the thumbs down. I know it wasn't a very exciting video, but, intro videos usually aren't. But if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. But please leave a comment below as to why, so I can try to use that to help things going forward. Otherwise, thanks all, and I'll catch you later.